What's good, y'all? So it's Camunio here, and y'all already know what we got today. So I ain't even gonna waste your time. Let's get into it.
I guess I got my swagger back. Truth.
Today we got 23-year-old Jerome living on $25,000 a year in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, see, the reason I picked this one was because I know a lot of the ones we've been doing that I've been reviewing and reacting to have been like, 24, 25, 26-year-old living on $200,000, $300,000, $600,000 a year. And I know for a lot of people that's not too relatable, right? So this is probably going to be something that's going to be relatable to a lot more people. I mean, everybody watching this should be making at least $25,000 a year. So one thing I will say though, when we get into this, and if this dude is investing more than you should be ashamed, because I know you watching this, you right now, listen to this, you are making more than $25,000 a year. I know it, you have to be. The median income is $45,000 a year. So more than likely you're making more than $25,000 a year. So if this dude is making $25K a year and he's investing more than you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. Let's get into it.
I saw the student loan hit 30,000, and at that point, I realized I need to sit back and really think about what I want out of life, what I want to achieve, and what direction I want to go before I stack up another $30,000, $40,000 in student loan debt. I'm Jerone Gillespie. I'm 23 years old. I live in Baltimore, Maryland, and I make $25,000 a year. So I'm a manager of a tax office, and also I do Uber and Lyft. This year, since I was only doing pretty much taxes, that kind of lowered my income because, believe it or not, I actually make more money doing Uber and Lyft a lot of the times than when I do doing taxes. The tax season got extended, so I was doing that more often, but I really like doing taxes though because it gives me more knowledge or, human capital, so to speak. So that can actually help me in my future more than probably, doing Uber and Lyft can.
Okay, wait, I'm confused. So is he a bookkeeper? Cause I'm trying to figure out why he's only making $14.50 an hour doing taxes at that. Like, obviously you're not an accountant, so you don't have you don't have a CPA. So obviously you're not filing people's taxes and stuff. So what are you doing for them? Bookkeeping? Because there's no reason you should be making $14.50 an hour. He's the manager of a tax office. I'm gonna need him to get his income up. In 2021, there's no reason to be making that amount of money. With school or not, I'm gonna keep it 100 because just based off of the internet and based off the ability to learn new skills, there is way too many opportunities for other side hustles to make more than $14.50 an hour. You can literally be on Fiverr. You can, you can learn, how to code. You can learn graphic design. You can learn a whole bunch of things that, people will pay you to do. Video editing, all these kind of things you can learn literally today for free easily.
Seeing an eviction notice or like getting the lights or electric turned off, it didn't really bother me because I knew that they were going to be coming back on sometime soon. But to me, I felt like those were just things that happened every once in a while. Perhaps maybe that was the reason why ever since I was a little kid, I was extremely frugal and tight with my money. It's a nice town, has a nice scenery, but the people in that area were very, very racist growing up. It did definitely hurt my confidence as a person. When you're raised there for so long, you start to think that that's kind of just how the everyone is. And I realized that that's not really the case, and that I slowly but surely over time regained that confidence that was lost from being there.
I wonder if that plays a factor into why, because it seems like he's just content with where he's at. I mean, I don't know what vibe y'all getting, but it seems like he's just content with where he is right now. And I always wonder, like, how much of your upbringing, your environment plays a factor in, the level of, I guess, content that you get to in your once you become a adult, because obviously, if you grow up upper middle class or, wealthy by many standards, and, you grow up, with silver spoon and that kind of thing, you could get to a point where it's like, I grew up comfortable. So, you just become fine with being in the middle class, just because that's how you grew up and you grew up comfortable. So I'm wondering if it's a similar situation.
I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and her roommate didn't want me there. So to keep the peace, I really had nowhere else to go because I was waiting to move in with my brother. I had to sleep in my 1993 Firebird Pontiac, and it was very small. The window was broke, so it kind of started getting cold in August and September. I was going to class, I was working in the afternoons, and I was sleeping in my car at night. At the end of the day, it gave me a wonderful opportunity to save money. Another thing I did to save money was I started eating once a day. So first I did this just to save money because I just didn't have a lot of money coming in, and I was spending money on books and stuff like that. And I wanted to save money up so I can get my own apartment, get out the living room. But what I did with that money that I saved on food is I started investing in stocks and ETFs and stuff like that. So that money started to grow. So I wasn't just holding on to that money, but I was growing that money. And eventually I used that money that was growing to pay down debt and other stuff like that.
This dude, I like him. I like the positive attitude, right? Because that situation, sleeping in the car, he was in a coupe too. In an old coupe, and he was sleeping on someone's couch, only eating once a day. That is what you call a sacrifice. But the first thing that he said was, it gave me a chance to save money. That was the first thing he said about it. That is like the ultimate positive attitude, and that's going to take him far. That alone is going to take him far. So even if he's not wealthy or whatever now, just based on what he's saying right now, he was sleeping in a car, eating once a day. And with the extra money, he was investing it. It's one thing to need that money to be able to pay bills or something, but technically investing, it is a necessity, but he didn't necessarily have to choose to do that. Yeah, man, like I said earlier, if he's investing more than you, we finna see in a minute when they give the budget breakdown. If he's investing more than you ought to be ashamed.
I don't really consider myself as a budgeter. I don't really budget. I just have a natural tendency to not want to spend money. But as far as tracking things, I do try to track all of my income and my expenses on like an income statement. And then also I do a balance sheet at the end of every month.
Okay. Wow. These are really modest expenses. Obviously, he has to be pretty modest. Housing, $823. I'm not gonna lie, off of $25,000 a year, $800 housing payment seems kind of high. But he's in DC or Baltimore. Is he? He's in Baltimore. Food, $200 a month. That's definitely modest because that's exactly how much I spend on food every month. And I know I eat really modestly. I just had a, peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch today. He's definitely not living above his means. We can say that. Phone, $67. That's actually my exact same phone payment too. Books, $40. Wow. That's dope, man. Books and gym, $40 a month. So he's definitely got the right mindset, right? He's investing into his education, which is super important, like his self-education, and then obviously his physical health. I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this at all. For $25K a year, spending, $1,280 a month. What is that per year? What does that work out to? 1282 times 12. He's spending like $15,000 a year. So that means there's a $10,000 surplus. So I'm interested to see where that money's going. It's not looking good for y'all, I'm telling you. If he's investing more than you, it's not looking good. But let's see.
On like an income statement, and then also I do a balance sheet at the end of every month. I recently started categorizing my expenses, and also I kind of track how much increase and decrease each of my asset categories and liability categories have grown over the course of the year. And I also track my savings rates.
Oh, he's saving $10K a year. That's where that surplus is going. I know a lot of y'all right now are not even saving $10,000 a year. I know it. I know it. Now, when I say save, I'm saying save to invest. Obviously, you know we don't save to save in bank accounts. We don't do that because we know savers are losers around here, right? Because of inflation, we know that. But man, even just what he was saying with, he's tracking his income, his expenses, and he's tracking his assets and liabilities. So he's tracking his net worth. And you know what they say, whatever you track will actually, you know, improve, and you know you can make better because you're aware of it. If you're not tracking, you're not aware of it. So even when he's making $25,000 a year only, he's still in that mindset of how, you know, wealthy people act. So that's what the whole concept of be, do, and have means, right? In order for him to have wealth or whatever, because it sounds like he's obviously on a path to try to build wealth, which that's super dope. In order for him to have wealth, he knows, okay, he first has to do things that, you know, those kind of people that have that amount of wealth do, right? So tracking your expenses, tracking your income, tracking your assets and liabilities, your net worth, right? But in order to be able to do those things, you have to first be that person that will do those things. And it sounds like he has become that person just because you hear he's investing in his education. I mean, he's investing in the books, self-education. He's investing into assets, tracking his net worth, living below his means. Intrinsically has all of the qualities of someone that is going to one day become wealthy, all those things. So, man, he's rocking out. I ain't mad at this. I am not mad at this because it just goes to show it's not about what you make, right? It's not about what you make. Yes, increasing your income is super important. And I mentioned that in the beginning. He does need to increase his income. I mean, if he just figures out a way to get to $50,000 a year, he's going to be good. He's going to be good.
I had like almost no money in the bank account. I had like $40. That was like in 2017. I just decided that I was never going to have less than $100 in my bank account ever again in my life. I just started buying stocks and I just started researching companies and trying to figure out what I need to do to make intelligent investments. Eventually I learned about a Roth IRA. And basically the Roth IRA was another thing that I started putting money into. I mean, it seemed like a wonderful deal. I love making tax-free money, so I decided just to put money in there.
That is very impressive. To be making $25,000 a year and to have $13,000 in assets, yo, I rock with that. Do you know why? Because I can guarantee you can bet your last dollar that there are doctors and six-figure earners out there, lawyers, whatever, that are making six figures that don't even have $13,000 invested. So for him to be investing as much as he is and to have that, you know, that amount in assets only on $25,000 a year in income, that's dope, man. And this is what you call a prodigious accumulator of wealth. A prodigious accumulator of wealth is anyone in which they have a higher net worth or they have more wealth than they should for someone that's making that amount of money, right? A lot of doctors, a lot of lawyers are UAWs, under accumulators of wealth, meaning they make so much money, but for someone that's making that amount of money at that age, you would expect them to have a relatively high net worth. Many of them don't. And in many cases, they actually have negative net worths due to all the student loans and that kind of stuff, right? But as opposed to, you know, a plumber or someone, you know, that's making $50,000 a year, but they have a 6 or even 7-figure net worth at a certain age, that's a prodigious accumulator of wealth because they have a lot more wealth than someone on that type of income and at that age. So that's definitely the category he's in. He's definitely a PAW.
When I was in 8th grade, I was diagnosed with a heart condition that was potentially deadly. And the doctor said that if you exercise real hard, you could die at any moment. So I continued exercising hard and continued living my life the way that I wanted to live my life. I never really thought that I would make it past high school because, you know, in 8th grade, they told me that I could die at any moment. After that situation happened and I actually got to the point where I was graduating high school, I was kind of like in shock because I never really thought about what I wanted to do after high school. So I kind of just went into college like with just empty-handed, not really thinking about what I had wanted to do throughout high school. I kind of went undecided. I decided to go with Spanish because I could graduate in like 2 semesters. But I didn't feel like Spanish was really what was going to help me get to where I was going in life, and it just didn't seem like that would be a very good return on investment. I saw the student loan hit $30,000, and at that point I realized I need to sit back and really think about what I want out of life, what I want to achieve, and what direction I want to go before I stack up another $30,000, $40,000 in student loan debt.
Damn.
I may go back to college. I know Uber has this program, if you hit 3,000 rides, they might pay for online college for you. So I want to see if that's real or legit and see what's going on with that. And if they do that, I might go back and try to get an accounting degree. But other than that, I'm not 100% sure. It's very costly, and I feel very confident in myself that I can build a good amount of wealth with or without a degree.
Ah, man, that's a tough situation because the dude literally thought he was going to die. So because he thought he was going to die, he was like, well, I don't really need to think about college. So he didn't really think about what he wanted to do. So he went to school, which this is the problem with the school system. This is, in many cases, what happens to most 18-year-olds, right? Not the fact that they think they're going to die, but they don't necessarily know what they want to do when they go to college. But society is pressuring you to say, hey, you got to go to school, or else you're going to be a bum, that they just go to school and get in all this debt doing some nonsense degree, like he said, of Spanish. No offense if you got a Spanish degree, but yo, that's pretty useless. Let's keep it 100. He ended up getting a useless degree, and because a lot of 18-year-olds aren't looking at college as an investment. You have to look at the ROI on the debt that you're going to incur, right? Is the salary you're going to make, or number one, are you even going to be able to get a job right out of college? Number two, is that salary going to be able to, is it justifiable based off of the debt that you're going to get into? If you're going to get into, what he had $30,000 of debt or whatever. If you're going to get into that much debt, he couldn't even get a job. Obviously, it's not worth it, right? So you got to really look at that kind of stuff. So net worth probably isn't too high, but it's still commendable that he has that amount of money invested.
I figured the interest rate was 3.75%. I could almost guarantee, based off my calculations, get a higher return on investment than 3.75%, either with Uber and Lyft or some other endeavor.
I need him to get off of this Uber and Lyft stuff. Like, I get it, it's good right now temporarily, but yo, to go incur $20K of debt to subsidize your Uber and Lyft business, yo, that's, to me, you are incurring that on behalf of Uber and Lyft. They're getting wealthier on your behalf. Obviously, you got to do what you got to do in a moment, but like $20,000 of debt for Uber and Lyft, like to continue to trade in my time for money, nah, fam, I ain't rocking with that.
I plan to stop driving for Uber and Lyft as soon as I possibly can. I want to move on to something that is probably a little bit more lucrative and that makes a little bit more money. I would like to actually get into software engineering and also maybe at somewhere down the line get an accounting degree perhaps and work in that field as well. I want to have enough investment income to cover my monthly expenses, plus be able to save 50% of my income thereafter. But another big investment goal is I want to buy my first piece of real estate. Right now, I pretty much have everything that I could want and enjoy in life. I have a family and friends that I enjoy and that I care about. So I really can't have much to complain. The only thing I don't have is just financial freedom completely, like investment income enough to cover my expenses and, or passive income enough to cover my expenses. And that's only really my next goal, is just have enough passive income. But everything else in life I pretty much already have. The only thing that income could do is help me reach that goal a little bit faster. Right about now, I am thanking myself every single day for that decision that I made to sleep on that couch, to eat once a day, to live that lifestyle, so I don't have to live that lifestyle ever again.
I like him. I like this dude. He's a solid dude. Nice dude. Seemed like a good dude to kick it with too. I love the fact that he has financial freedom on his mind. And even, I think he mentioned earlier in regards of like, I don't even, he doesn't even think he should go back to school. He's considering if he even needs to, because he has confidence in himself that he can build wealth with or without the degree, which I absolutely love, man. I love that. I love it. 23 years old, you know, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get financial freedom, man. Financial freedom is on, because like I said earlier, man, he's already the person. He's doing the things that have to be done in order to have, you know, wealth and financial freedom. So he's gonna get it. It's just a matter of time. The only thing I would say is he just need to find a way to increase his income, which obviously he's aware of. A lot of people are in similar situations to that. A lot of people are making more than that and they're not doing this. Like, that is unacceptable. So yeah, there y'all have it. If y'all did get something of value from this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm so that they know that this is good content that needs to get shared and pushed out there some more. Other than that, I will see y'all in the next one.